You read the title correctly. I fully believe that I am going to add a pet into Hypixel Skyblock that will change the way that every single player will play the game. Now, whether that change is small or big, I definitely want a change with this pet for every single player to enjoy, and that is what I'm going to discuss today. If you're watching this around the time of release, the third election has yet to open, but I could go ahead and confidently say that during this next election, I will be able to run again. If you watch any of our previous shorts, you know that my goal has been to add a capybara pet into Hypixel Skyblock. Listen, it's the closest we will get to having a happy Skyblock by adding something like that, and with a pet, unlike something like a talisman, there is a lot of avenues you could go down with adding a lot of different things into the game. It's kind of like asking a genie for multiple wishes. Rather than just getting one perk in the game, you could add a pet with multiple, and I think that is the perfect thing we could do. Now the thing is with adding a pet into the game is you can't make it too overpowered. You can't make it the best foraging pet, you can't make it the best combat pet, you can't make it the best farming pet. So you kind of need to do something that is a jack of all trades, or something that really hasn't been done in any other way. Now, 30 kind of tried this. He tried to do 3 different, he did a foraging, a mining, and a fishing perk. And listen, quite frankly, I don't want to be mean to 30 virus, but this pet isn't the best. And listen, I do know that the admins kind of butchered his pet a little, but still, I think this could have been a lot better, and hopefully this will get changed in the future. But really, I hope with my pet that won't have to be the case. So I'm gonna go ahead and spoil my 3 hopefully perks, and listen, I am open to changes in any department about this. Here is the Google Doc that we've kind of made for this pet so far. As you can see, the idea would be to add a capybara pet. The way of obtaining this pet is very simple. We do not want this to be a hard pet to obtain. The idea is to simply make it similar to the grandma wolf pet in the way that that pet is free and levels up passively. This pet would be pet score based, and the way that we currently have it is that if you have 10 score, you get the common pet from cat, 50 you get the uncommon, 100 the rare, 175 the epic, and 275 the legendary. 275 pet score is not a lot, and most people should be able to get this no problem. The base perk of the pets would be add social wisdom up to 10, and then we are thinking to add hunting fortune. It'll probably be pretty low. You could get it increased through the Minos relic as well as Chimera, so we're probably gonna have to keep it around a max of 5. Still better than literally any other hunting pet because they don't exist. The first perk idea would be this. We call it a friend of many. This might be changed, who knows, but the idea is to mainly help Iron Man players with this, and also to balance out a lot of prices that otherwise might be too high. As you can see here, the goal is to bring a constant flow of stuff that is normally locked behind IRL time locked items, but with the caveat of making them a lot rarer than normal. Such items include, like, if you're using this pet to fish, you will be able to fish up spooky and shark mobs. If you are mining anything that will give you a refined mithril or glossy gemstones with this pet, you will be able to drop them. And I threw this one in for fun. If you have this pet out, every hour your capybara will randomly pick up a hoppity egg and put it inside your hitman. Again, the goal is to not make these the fastest way to obtain them, but just constantly have a flow of them in the game. There have been multiple times, including even now, that we haven't seen a coal in like 50 days. So thinking about an Ironman player who's starting the game, they won't have a mineral set and be locked behind the best money making method for a long time. This perk I think is a non-negotiable, other than a few things might be tweaked, but this is the Jolly Prize perk. The way that this simply works is that this pet will use pet candies. It won't actually put the pet candy text on it, because I know people hate that. So with the pet candies, the way it'll work is you could go ahead and feed your pet candies, and if you keep it happy for a certain amount of time, the pet will reward you with a Jolly Prize. Now, I'm going to keep the prizes hidden for now, as a lot of them might not make it in, but hopefully they all do. But I have made sure all the prizes are actually pretty decent. They're not too overpowered to where I think they would get denied, and would help a lot of players with general progression. As you can see, even though this is kind of a tedious thing where you need to feed the pet, I made it pretty simple to where if you just give it one ultimate carrot candy, it keeps it fed for the full duration. The final perk here, I didn't really go too much in detail here. That's kind of my bad. But I mean, it doesn't need to be too much in detail, as this might be the one that I end up actually changing, but maybe not. It's a pretty simple perk. You unlock it at Legendary. I don't know why I wrote Mythic here. You unlock it at Legendary, and it has a 25% chance to give you double Bestiary whenever killing a mob, and that whenever you drop a die, you have a 25% chance of dropping 2. Now, some people did say this might be too useless or might be too overpowered, and I would like to counter that just a little. Most bestiaries you don't actually end up using a normal pet to kill. You don't need a G-Drag, for example, to kill grunts, yogs, fists, sludges, obsidian defenders, seers, endermites, all of these different bestiaries. You would rather kill with the capybara pet for a chance to just increase your bestiary by 25%. On top of that, a lot of the dyes in this game, you don't need a pet active for either. I mean, if I go through this list, you have the Archfiend dye, you have the Bone dye, Copper dye, Emerald dye, even Dung dye, Holly dye, Jade dye, Livid and technically Necron dye, Fossil dye, and a bunch of other dyes that you could do this with. I think it helps out the people that are dye grinding, they make a little more money. Someone like me, if I drop a dye, they just sit in this chest over here. But for example, if I was going for the Emerald dye, I could have dropped 2 and made an extra 270 million coins. And not to mention, obviously there are dyes that have a lot more demand than others. For example, there is no Celestial dyes on the AH. There are so few of these dropped, and even if it's a 25% increase, it is a lot more than 0. And since this is a pretty cool dye in my opinion, and there are a lot of other dyes that are also cool like this, I think this pet perk is actually pretty good, but I'll let you be the judge of that. Like I said, we have a day in 15 hours, probably a little less if you're watching this around the time of release. And I think out of any election, this is the election that we are able to push to the top 3 in the easiest way possible, with hopefully the least amount of competition, and also with the least amount of alt accounts. If you have any suggestions, and I mean any suggestions when it comes around to this pet, please leave them in the comments below. I will make sure to read every single one. You have my word on that. And if there quite frankly is a perk that outclasses any of the perks that I listed already today, I will make sure to update you in some way or another. This pet will quite frankly change how every single player plays the game, again in a small or big way. And hopefully in the next 5 or something days, we will be able to see this pet in all its glory inside Hypixel Skyblock. During this event, I plan to campaign harder than I ever have before. And listen, if we lose this event, I tried my hardest, that's all I could say. Thank you guys for voting Candypat, and we promise, after this whole election thing is done, we will get back to actual content, I swear to God.